Right behind me is a platform that was known across the Roman world in all major cities as a Bema, as in the Bema seat. Over in 2 Corinthians, the Bible tells us that we will all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, us Christians anyway. This is not the last judgment, the great white throne judgment, where people are sentenced essentially to hell. But this happens to be a particular seat of judgment where somebody is either rewarded or penalized for what they have done. In the particular case of the Apostle Paul, he stood right behind me where these people are standing right now, where he was dragged before the magistrate, the proconsul, a man named Gallio, and accused of teaching, doctrine that disagreed with the Jews, which Gallio refused to get involved with. And there, as Paul was about to make his defense, he even stopped Paul from speaking and then told the Jewish people that I'm not going to get involved in this. The audience was enraged and began to beat the Jewish leaders, a man named Sosthenes, if I can say that right, Sosthenes, and beat him savagely and sent him away. Paul merely walked away from the situation. As he stood before the Bema, it's there in Acts chapter 17. But here at this Bema also, it's something that Paul likened our judgment to, where we will stand before Jesus someday as Christians, and he will reward us, Christians, depending on our faithfulness and our perseverance in him. He gives two illustrations, Jesus did, back in Luke and also over in Matthew. One about a bunch of servants who were given an amount of money called a mina. Another one about some servants who were given various amounts of money called talents, not related to certain abilities, but it was money in those days. And when they were brought before the master, when he returned, he said, "What did you do with my investment?" And all of them had good notes on the investments, and he rewarded them accordingly, except for one of each parable, where the man brought forth his investment, a single mina or a single talent, and said, "I knew you were a hard man, so I hid it in the ground and I did nothing with it." And God called that man a wicked servant. He didn't keep him out of heaven, but he did consider him doing a very bad thing. God has put into each one of us, if you're a Christian, his Holy Spirit. And his Holy Spirit has certain things he wants to do through each of us. We call them spiritual gifts. It's ways to build up others, to make life better for others, to make their Christian walk stronger, or even to help them in their everyday human lives. It's something that we usually enjoy doing. But as one man put it, if God gives you 12 cylinders on your engine, then you shouldn't be running off of 9. But if you only have a 2-stroke engine to run a weed whacker, then you run it with all your might. What God has given us, we need to use it because it is his work, his grace through us to bless and to benefit others. And he will reward us on that last day accordingly. So this is the Bema seat that the Corinthians understood, and they had Bemas all over the empire. Paul had seen them before. Jesus was even tried on one in Jerusalem. It's something they understood. And Jesus said, "I will give you a reward, you who follow me." And his reward is something that will be glorious, and for others it may be fearsome. You won't be thrown out of heaven because you didn't do it right. But oh, it will not be a very nice day, unfortunately. That sounds terrible. But that's the way Jesus said it's going to be. And it should be awesome to us all. The Bema seat here in Corinth. A lot of lessons attached to it. God bless you. Hope you could come visit here someday.